ChatGPT 4 goes multimodal, and Travis Wright, our resident wizard, is on top of it.
Yeah, and Donald, he tells us all about what's going on with the metaverse, who loves it and who hates it.
And Nova knows which deal flows got funded in the wake of a global banking crisis.
Uh-oh, it's the Web3 show. Here we go, here we go.
It's the Web3 show. Now you know what you didn't, so let's freaking go.
Welcome to another Web3 show. I'm Travis Wright, and I'm here today with Dr. Evil. Here we go. Very nice. What do we got going on today, Mr. Chris?
Well, I think we're going to start right away with you, sir, because you went all in with ChatGPT 4's recent upgrade after the demo. You've been nonstop looking at it, and I believe there's a wizard in the house that's about to do a little wizardry for us. So why don't we just go right into Travis Wright, our Web3 wizard.
Whoa, ChatGPT 4 is on the scene, and it's huge. How huge? Well, imagine ChatGPT 3 is like this. ChatGPT 4 is like... So the sun, for an example, is about 340 times bigger than the Earth's moon, right? Well, ChatGPT 4 is 500 times the size of ChatGPT 3. So now it's multimodal. What does multimodal mean? I don't know. What it means is you can input video, images, audio, text. You can do all of those things. It's amazing what you can input into this thing. For example, how awesome is this? Well, they took a photo of a note page in a notebook, and they were able to generate a fully functioning website with this photo inputted into ChatGPT 4. Folks, the world is changing. It is so crazy what's going on with ChatGPT 4. In fact, I think this might be moving just a little bit too fast. So I'm out of here.
All right, my wizard, my man, Travis Wright, with another great segment. It's time, Travis, to go to Southeast Asia and Donald Lim and get our weekly update from the Southeast Asia market. Donald.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. He's going to talk some metaverse stuff, I hear.
I hear that too.
Yep.
Donald, good to see you.
Yep. Hi, Chris. Hi, Travis. A crypto data website, Coin Kickoff, analyzed 1.6 million tweets from different parts of the world to determine which countries have a good appreciation and liking of the metaverse and those who feel negative about it. So take a guess. Who do you think is the #1 country who has the most love for the metaverse concept? And that is Vietnam.
What do you think, Chris? Vietnam?
I wouldn't have guessed Vietnam.
You didn't even let me guess.
56.8% of the tweets from Vietnam related to the metaverse are positive, followed by our country, Philippines, 56.2%. And then, surprisingly, number 3 is Ukraine amidst the war, 54.9%. And then, wrapping up the top 5 is Nigeria at 51.4% and Indonesia at 49%. 3 are coming from Asia.
Wow. So Southeast Asia loves the metaverse. What do you think of that, Chris?
I want to know who's at the bottom of the list.
Okay. Oh, on the bottom, you'll be surprised. Countries who are against the metaverse, who has the highest negative mentions, is Ireland, followed by Denmark, New Zealand, and I don't know why, United States and Canada.
What? We hate the metaverse, Chris.
I don't know why. I thought it came from you guys.
That's not a surprise to me at all, honestly. But you know what's really more interesting, as you said, Travis, earlier, was Southeast Asia loves the metaverse, and then when you factor in the total populace of those 3 countries, it's like 5 to 6 times the 5 countries that you listed, Donald, at the bottom. So if you wonder where the future economy is going, it might be going to the metaverse, and it might be moving to the eastern part of this planet.
And whenever we had those lockdowns, I bet people like the idea of the metaverse more because you can't leave your home, right? And so you go on the metaverse. I remember seeing a video of this dude who lived in like a really weird, janky apartment thing, and his bed was not great, but he had his VR goggles on all the time. He's like, I'm living in a penthouse. Like, this is great. So,
yeah. So Donald, what do you see, on the ground? I mean, you have kids, you have things like that. Like, is this something that they're even aware of? Do they think of it as normal? Where do you see it? Just
we actually see a massive shift. Imagine last Christmas, I have so many of my godchildren who just message me, no more gifts this Christmas. Just send me Robux. It's not like one, you're talking about 10 of them.
Yeah,
my daughter loves Roblox. They're building all kinds of great stuff in that metaverse. See, the younger generation is being trained to dive into the metaverse, and a lot of the older people maybe don't do it as much, but the young people freaking love it.
Yeah, and how old your daughter? Or how old?
She's 17.
And yours?
Mine's 10. Mine's 10, yes.
Yeah, 10, 11.
Wow.
So we have 11-year-old too. And
Nice.
I think what's so funny to me is that we think that somehow history is going to not be the same. Like what 10-year-olds are into today, they become 20-year-olds very quickly. Yep. And those purchasing patterns that they form as an early age carry with them usually in the forward age, right? Like, I mean, credit cards at one point weren't a thing, and there was a generation that wouldn't touch them. And then there's a generation that lives on nothing but them. And yeah, I think that, there's an interesting stat I read this week. Robux, actually 30% of the revenues come from gift cards. So that validates your point. But the interesting thing that I thought was tying into some of the other macro things that are happening, especially in the banking stuff, Travis, is the fact that the reason Roblox does the Robux cards is because it's a way around, it's a hack around paying the 30% to Google and Apple. So
that's a good point.
And so if you think about that,
it's a hell of a viral way to get people, it's like, go buy a gift card, get it to your kid, boom, and they're happy, and then they shut up, get on your phone, here's some Robux, go in the other room, leave me alone, I gotta watch Survivor.
When we were kids, if you gave us $100 bill, we were like super excited. We treasured it. Now you give a kid $100 bill, he's wondering how many Robux he can get with it.
Right. So the world is changing, folks. The world is changing.
It's a great update, Donald. I think, we'll have to watch the actual startup and the kind of capital formation things happening out of Vietnam and out of Indonesia. And what was that? And then Philippines was number 2. So you guys were all somewhere around 49 to 57%. It sounded like that's real numbers. I mean, those are big numbers, especially in the Philippines, where I think what's your population?
Have 100 million population.
128 is like.
Yeah. So you're talking about 110. Vietnam is 100 plus also. Indonesia is a 250, 300. So it's quite substantial.
Yeah, and it scales from there because, those are, especially Philippines being English speaking and being a business product, like it can scale into the other markets over there.
That's true. And I wonder how many of those analyzed tweets they were doing. I mean, they probably didn't do an analysis of Chinese tweets because they maybe couldn't read Chinese or translate it effectively. So who even knows? But, the metaverse is clearly on the rise. It's on a halt, kind of hiatus, because AI is so big right now. Crypto markets have tanked, but the metaverse and VR is not going away, especially once Apple drops whatever goggles they're working on. That's going to take it to a whole nother level.
Well, again, you've made us more and more interested in each week with Southeast Asia. Thanks for a great update, and we look forward to whatever you come up with next week. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
I love it. I'm here in the metaverse. I'm gonna go experiment in the a little bit more.
Okay, well, while he's doing that, we'll stay in the metaverse. We're going to go to Nova, see what she knows about the deal fundings this week after the banking crisis.
Despite banking crises, funding is still moving. Croesus developer raised $25 million for their new super app platform, which allows users to buy and sell digital goods using blockchain. Blockchain Founders Fund has also invested $75 million in early-stage pre-seed and seed companies. Lastly, Stripe has achieved an impressive $50 billion valuation after raising $6.5 billion from various investors, such as Andreessen Horowitz and Bailey Gifford. Back to you, Chris and Travis.
Thanks, Nova. That was great. And again, good to see that a lot of money still flowing into startups despite all the hiccups of the last couple of weeks. Travis, parting thoughts on ChatGPT 4, the metaverse, all these things today.
There's a lot of stuff going on with that. I mean, there's a lot of things to unravel. One of the things that excites me is, thinking about what Apple might be releasing later on in the year with their goggles and ChatGPT 4 with the metaverse. Eventually, Chris, we're going to be able to say, I want to be in this kind of an environment with this colors, and give me a fireplace here. And if that, you're going to be able to tell the metaverse what you want to see while you're sitting in it and chilling in your VR space that you just created with your thoughts.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of things to take away from this week to keep your eye on, right, Travis? Like one of them is, to that point, consumers are consuming the things, especially the younger consumer, in the communities that they care about, and with the currencies, whether they be in-game tokens or what have you, that are the medium of exchange. And because of those dynamics, and because of the potential deflationary, cost-reducing, while experience or output enhancing things that AI can do, there's going to be a collision between all these technologies. And I think, these short-term announcements like Meta recently saying we're going to move away from NFTs on Instagram and Facebook, I think they're temporary, and I think they're more of a sign of that dynamic that Donald brought up in kind of customer sentiment. But make no mistake, there's billions of people on the other side of this rock that are into this stuff, and they have spending power. And that's something that should be paid attention to in the coming months, I think.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much, Chris, for another great episode here. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to listen to more, make sure to click this video, as that's the one that YouTube says that you should probably watch next. So watch this one or that one, this one. And thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week.